The impossible just happened. After 1,297 consecutive games spanning nearly 2 decades of dominance, LeBron James failed to reach double digits. The streak is over.
Thing is that his streak of scoring double-digit points came to an end after 1,297 consecutive games. LeBron ends with just 8 points.
Just playing the game the right way. You always make the right play. That's just been my MO. That's how I was taught the game. I've done that my whole career. There's not even 1 second guessing that. Once they doubled AR and the ball got swung to me, I know it's a numbers game. We got a 4-on-3 advantage, and I was just trying to put the ball on time, on target, and right in Rui's socket, in his shot pocket, and he knocked it down.
Said it before the season started. I said the simplest thing LeBron could have done, given the fact that the Lakers didn't extend him, was to announce his retirement this season. It would have worked out perfectly for him.
The Lakers just beat Toronto 123-120 on a last-second Rui Hachimura buzzer beater. Austin Reaves dropped 44 points. LeBron, 8 points on 4-17 shooting. But that's not the story, because while the game was happening, the basketball world exploded with news that changes everything about the Lakers' future and LeBron's place in it.
And it says, yo, you can't make this shit up. It says, Luka Doncic asked the Lakers to try to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. It continues on. I can tell you that the Lakers inquired about Luka. The Lakers inquired, and Luka Doncic himself inquired, trying to see if the Lakers could work out a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks via Fox News.
Luka Doncic, the Lakers' franchise cornerstone, their future, their present, went to the front office himself and asked them to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, not as a compliment to LeBron, as his replacement. This is the NBA equivalent of your starting quarterback going to the GM and saying, "Get me a new offensive line," while the old guard is still on the roster. This is a 25-year-old superstar making executive decisions about the roster composition, bypassing the 40-year-old legend who's supposed to be the leader. In football terms, this is Patrick Mahomes telling Brett Veach to rebuild the offense while Alex Smith is still the starter. It's a power play. It's a changing of the guard, and it's happening publicly. The implications are nuclear. Luka isn't just thinking about basketball fit, he's thinking about championship windows, roster construction, and salary cap flexibility. He's thinking like a general manager because he knows he is the franchise now, and every front office executive in that building knows it too. When your franchise player starts making personnel requests, you listen. When that request involves trading for a 2-time MVP in his prime, you move heaven and earth to make it happen, even if it means moving a legend out of the way.
It's almost as if like LeBron is in LA and it's like, and nobody cares. Since when do we make these kind of astronomical plans on top of LeBron's head? Like, it's like as if he's not even there.
This is the gut punch reality of professional sports. LeBron James, 4 championships, 4 MVPs, the face of the NBA for 2 decades, has become an afterthought in his own building. This isn't disrespect, this is business. In the NFL, we've seen this story before. When the Patriots moved on from Tom Brady, when the Packers drafted Jordan Love while Aaron Rodgers was still there, when the Colts let Peyton Manning walk, championship windows don't wait for nostalgia. Front offices don't make decisions based on legacy, they make them based on production and future value. And here's the brutal truth that every coaching staff and front office understands, but fans refuse to accept. LeBron isn't that guy anymore. He's averaging 15 points per game on declining efficiency. He's a defensive liability, making the Lakers nearly 10 points per 100 possessions worse when he's on the court. Think about that from a scheme perspective. That's catastrophic. That's the difference between a top 5 defense and a bottom 5 defense. That's the kind of defensive rating that gets coordinators fired and seasons derailed.
If LeBron had a no-trade clause, the Lakers, if they could trade for Giannis and Giannis became available, the next second, without blinking an eye, the Lakers would pull that trade. They wouldn't even waste a bloody second.
Cold-blooded, but accurate. This is what separates championship organizations from sentimental ones. The Lakers aren't the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're not building a statue while the building burns. They're the franchise that traded Shaq in his prime. They're the team that moves on when the math stops working. And right now, the math is screaming that LeBron James at $52.6 million with a no-trade clause is the biggest obstacle between them and another championship. Here's where it gets even more complicated from a roster construction standpoint. Luka and Giannis could work. Not just work, they could be the best duo in basketball overnight. Luka's offensive brilliance combined with Giannis's defensive dominance and transition attack, that's a championship core for the next 5 years. But LeBron's contract makes it nearly impossible. His no-trade clause means he controls his destiny. He can block any deal. He can force the Lakers to keep him while they watch their championship window slam shut.
LeBron was simply making the appropriate basketball move there. He was using his high basketball acumen and IQ that we've been regaled on for 2 decades now. And of course, I'm talking about the fact that the guy is an utter coward in the clutch who runs away from every big shot that is presented to him.
The narrative warfare is real. Social media exploded with praise for LeBron sacrificing his streak by passing to Rui for the game winner. But let's break down what actually happened from a film room perspective. LeBron was 4 for 17 from the field. He was 0 for 5 from 3. He was getting cooked defensively, and in the final possession, with his streak on the line, he made the right basketball play, not the heroic play. He got the ball to an open teammate instead of forcing a contested shot. But here's the part that exposes everything. 2 nights earlier against Phoenix, LeBron was down 24 points in the fourth quarter. The game was over. Starters were sitting, but LeBron stayed in, chucking shots, stat padding his way to 10 points just to keep the streak alive before immediately checking out. He'll pad stats in garbage time, but won't take the big shot in winning time. That's not high basketball IQ, that's selective courage. That's knowing when the cameras are watching and when you can hide behind the box score.
LeBron has turned into, quite literally, an afterthought. The dude is like who would have thought this? And this is the mistake he made.
The clock struck midnight on the King, and unlike Cinderella's fairy tale, there's no magic slipper bringing him back. This is the natural life cycle of every superstar athlete. Father Time remains undefeated. We saw it with Peyton Manning's final season. Still had the mind, but the arm was gone. We saw it with Jordan's Wizards years. We're watching it now with LeBron James. The difference is this: LeBron has a no-trade clause and a $52.6 million price tag. He's not just declining, he's unmovable. From a front office perspective, this is a nightmare scenario. You have a 40-year-old player who's actively making your team worse on both ends of the floor. You have a 25-year-old franchise superstar in his prime asking for help, and you have a 2-time MVP potentially available for trade. But the one piece preventing the whole puzzle from coming together, the legend who won't let go?
For the new people that just came into the live, we pinned the article in the comments there. This is the word on the streets, and it's all over the internet. It says, Luka Doncic asked the Lakers to try and acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can tell you that the Lakers inquired, and Luka Doncic himself inquired, trying to see if the Lakers could work out a deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Via Fox News, Lou Canellis.
Nikola Jokic, who gets roasted nightly on social media for being a defensive liability, makes his team better defensively. LeBron James makes the Lakers 9.5 points per 100 possessions worse. That's not just bad, that's historically catastrophic. That's the kind of defensive impact that single-handedly sinks playoff hopes. Championship teams live and die by their defensive rating. You cannot win in June if your highest paid player is bleeding points on defense. This is why coaching staffs are probably having private conversations right now about minutes restrictions, lineup combinations, and how to minimize LeBron's impact. Not maximize it, minimize it. They're studying film, trying to figure out how to hide him defensively, how to manage his minutes, how to keep him engaged without letting him drag the team down. That's not how you treat a franchise cornerstone. That's how you manage a declining asset before you can move it. The Lakers beat Toronto without Luka. Austin Reaves dropped 44 points, the young core is thriving, and LeBron's historic streak died not with a bang, but with a whimper. 4 of 17 shooting, 8 points, and a defensive performance that made his team demonstrably worse. The King is dead, long live the King, and the new King's name is Luka Doncic. The next few weeks will define the Lakers' championship window. Can they find a trade package that works for Giannis? Will LeBron waive his no-trade clause to go somewhere else? Or will pride and legacy force everyone to run this back, knowing the window is closing while the clock keeps ticking? The Lakers are 18-13. They're battling for playoff positioning in a loaded Western Conference. Every game matters, every possession counts, and they have a $52.6 million problem that's getting worse by the night. This isn't about disrespecting greatness, this is about accepting reality. LeBron James is no longer the answer. Luka Doncic and potentially Giannis Antetokounmpo are the future. The only question is whether the past will get out of the way in time to let the future happen. The streak is over, the dynasty is crumbling, and the most ruthless roster decision in Lakers history is coming. Drop your predictions in the comments. Does LeBron finish the season in LA? Does Giannis end up in purple and gold? And will the Lakers have the guts to do what championship organizations do? Move on before it's too late? Smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe because this story is just getting started. The king is dead. What happens next will define a generation.